So the Brooklyn Nets, they're first in the East with a 29-16 record. And if I'm not mistaken, they're a top 10 offense and a top 15 defense. They're 14th in defense, I'm pretty sure. And all those numbers aside, when you look at the Brooklyn Nets, it all kind of comes down to a few things. One is whether Kyrie is going to be available or not for home games, which he's clearly stated he's standing on his stance against the vaccines, while also it becomes a matter of luck. I think their team in LaMarcus Aldridge and Patty Mills has those veteran guys, six-man roles who can come in and finish the job. In case of a scenario, James Harden or KD or Kyrie is not feeling in that game. It's just not their game, which I think it's going to be very rare that's going to happen. But in case, Kyrie or KD or James Harden is getting doubled, if that open man is available, you want Patty Mills to take that corner three or the long three, or you want LaMarcus Aldridge to take that mid-ranger or take it inside. You want that. Another great thing is that they've got some young guys brewing in there. They're not the best, but it's sort of like that Boston Celtics 2008 group of young guys where you want them to be like that, like Cameron Thomas, if I'm not mistaken. And DeAndre Bembry is another good addition they have in there. I'm forgetting some names, but you know what I mean. But it's also a matter of luck. James Harden, although he's not having his, greatest season of all time, it is still a very good season. If you consider if another player was having his sort of season, it would be one of the best years of their career. But on a James Harden level of standards, it's not. But their team is still doing really well, and James Harden is still playing really good. But the question comes down to luck. What's going to happen? We kind of saw this with last year's playoff run where, Kyrie gets injured. James Harden gets like a hamstring or quad injury, and he's not even him full self. And, you're one toe away from reaching the conference finals. So it all comes down to luck. We just have to see with this team. We have to see what's going to happen. But I wouldn't say I'm surprised they're first in the East. When you look at their squad, they should be first. But so far, they've gotten lucky when you look at it. There have been some really close games where they only had when they only had KD, or Cam Thomas is the one who's taking them out of the trenches. It's like against the Spurs. So you just kind of got to look at it and how their luck is going. So there are three games that come into mind: the Dallas game, the Toronto game, and the Spurs game that I've watched, and I've noticed that they just got lucky and got out of it with a win. So yeah, it all comes down to luck with the Brooklyn Nets. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, dislike. I do not really care that much. But yeah, for now, thank you and have a great day.